Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, here with Jim Ross and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Collision or Hit, we now going to have the match that we would have had yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown, but it was Asuka playing mind games with Belasca. But we have heard from the main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, Ric Flair, that the match will happen, Tony Schiavone says. Well, you got that right, Jim Ross said yesterday on Collision or Hit. It was Asuka who wanted to play a mind game on Belasca. Only Belasca truly did not fall for it, Jim Ross says. Are you kidding me? Montel Vertadius Porter says. She did fall. You kidding me? She will fall for this stunt. She will fall for this lark. Sooner or later, it will happen. Tony and Jim. Well, here comes Belasca now. Alright, Asuka, it's time for me to take that TWF heavyweight winnings off of you, and then I could become the 3-time TWF heavyweight fighter. This time, there will be no mind games. This time, it's going to be me and you fighting. And I'm going to walk out today on Collision or Hit as the TWF heavyweight fighter, and that's the way it's gonna be. So why don't you bring your rear out here now? Well, it looks like that Asuka didn't blow any time, taking Belasca up on the dare. Tony Schiavone says. No, it didn't look like that at all, Jim Ross says. And will Belasca become a 3-time TWF heavyweight fighter? Will that happen? Will Belasca become a 3-time TWF heavyweight fighter? We know she won it in the past. In 24, we know she won it the first time, and 24 between FYL. We also know she is a former CWF heavyweight fighter as well, but will she become a 2-time TWF heavyweight fighter? This match is for the TWF heavyweight winnings. First, she is from the Queendom of Themyscira, or Themysciran land, the goddess of madness, Belasca. And she is from the Kaiserreich of Dawnland, the TWF heavyweight fighter, the Kaiserin of Tomorrow, Asuka. Well, first off, the one thing Asuka wanted to hit Belasca, but Belasca just got Asuka in a stunner, Tony Schiavone says, but I don't think that's going to be enough to put away the Kaiserin of Tomorrow. Whoa, Jim Ross says, Thunder Gun Ball. And now, Belasca is going to do the sit-up might slam on Asuka and hopes that's enough. It's not going to be enough. Belasca is going to have to deep inside of herself to become the goddess of madness again if she wants to beat the Kaiserin of Tomorrow, Montel Vertadius Porter says. 1, 2, and a kick out. Yeah, that was a flow reckoning. Varia should have reckoned more faster than that. Would you stop? Tony Schiavone says. Oh, and Asuka just knocked down Belasca. And now Asuka, the Kaiserin of Tomorrow, the 3-time WWE Women's Heavyweight Fighter, knocking down Belasca. And now for body slam, Tony Schiavone says. Jim Ross, You were gone by the time Asuka came to WWE, but you were there during your last run in WWE, were you not? Yeah, I left. My free whiff run in WWE came to an end, and I was gone by the time Asuka came, but I was there in my fourth and last run, so I got to see some of Asuka's matches. I didn't call any of them. Jim Ross says. A hip toss, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, Montel Ratatis Porter said, I don't know how you would have handled calling Asuka's matches. And Velasquez going to wish he never got in the ring with Asuka. Looks like Asuka's getting ready. The Kaiser of Tomorrow is getting ready. Want to put Velasquez in the Asuka lock. It misses. Velasquez with the stunner. Now Velasquez is going to do it again. Velasquez all down. Thunder gun ball on Asuka. Velasquez doing all the Kevin Owen holds. Sit up might slam. But will this be enough? Well, somehow Asuka just flipped Velasquez around and now put Velasquez in the Asuka lock. Will Velasquez yield? Will the queen of the goddess of madness, yield to the Kaiser of Tomorrow? Tony Schiavone says. I don't know, Jim Ross said. If Velasquez will yield to Asuka, I don't know if the goddess of madness will yield to the Kaiser of Tomorrow. If she doesn't want to get fully wounded and doesn't want to make her daughter Maria more sad than she already is, then she'll yield. And Velasquez had to give up. Here is your winner, and still the TWF heavyweight fighter, Asuka. And Asuka has beat Velasquez here today on Collision or Hit, and she's still the TWF heavyweight fighter, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, she got by, Jim Ross said, by the skin of her teeth on that one. Well, what's going to happen? Asuka and Velasquez just hugged. And Velasquez just raised Asuka's hand. And now Asuka's having a hard time standing up now. So now Velasquez had to help Asuka up. But then again, she's been in shit. Then again, she's been in a fight, so yeah. Then she's been in a fight, so yeah, that would make thought of her having a hard time standing up or not. Well, I could tell you right now, Tony, everyone was coming into this match, Montel Ratatis Porter says, believing that Velasquez was going to beat Asuka and saying, Goddess of Madness this and Goddess of Madness that. You know, at the end of the day, that did not happen. You know, Montel Ratatis Porter says, well, it could have gone either way, Tony Schiavone said. Asuka could have lost, Velasquez could have won. So yes, it could have gone, either way. And now we're going to take it over now to Joey Styles. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. I'm going to be talking with Velasquez, the Goddess of Madness, here today on Collision or Hit. You have to be heartbroken, Velasquez. Shit, sorry. Stand up! You have to be heartbroken, Velasquez, that you didn't walk away as a two-time TWF heavyweight fighter. Well, no. To be earnest with you, I am kind of heartbroken. I told my daughter Maya that I was going to become a two-time TWF heavyweight fighter. And I guess, Joey Styles, that didn't happen. But I got new on look for Asuka now. Because Asuka didn't cheat. She didn't do anything that she did to all those other folks that she'd been in a ring with since she won the TWF heavyweight winnings for the 2-week time. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up. And it doesn't mean that I will not give up until I am, a two-time TWF heavyweight fighter. So, your goal is to one day become a two-time TWF heavyweight fighter. Yes, that is my goal. To win it back for the 3-week time. Or how many times I won it before because I lost a reckoning on it. Well, who cares? I don't know. I'm going to win back the TWF heavyweight winnings someday, sooner or later. Well, Belasca is not, even though she lost the match, she is not going to give up on her goal to become the TWF heavyweight fighter again. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Joey Styles, for talking with Belasca here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we've got here for Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Jim Ross and Montel Vertadius Porter, we hope you like Collision or Hit, and we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Might.